In this video we're going to look at translating Excel files with several columns. So if we look at an Excel file with several columns, this is not really the normal situation. The normal situation with MemoQ is we have some English text and we would translate over it to create our target Portuguese translation. Essentially, we take a source text and we replace it with a translation. That's the normal operation for MemoQ. However, we can have a situation where we have to keep the source and translate the target here. This is a bilingual situation, and I've left that as an exercise for you to do. What I'm going to show you now is how you can deal with a multilingual situation where you have several columns with a different language in each column. The task here is to translate the Portuguese, to add the Portuguese version to the other languages. Now, in theory, this could be the source, or this, or this. But let's say that column A is the source, which is English, and column D, Portuguese, is going to be the target translation. The second situation we'll look at is a very similar situation, except that we already have some of the target translation already done. So let's have a look at these situations. First of all, let's open up the Excel file without any target text. When we open up an Excel file, MemoQ chooses the filter called Microsoft Excel. Naturally enough, it's an Excel file. By the way, we must of course use import options because we're actually going to make a change to the options. We're going to change the filter and the configuration. What we want is a filter that deals with the multilingual situation. There are two. One's called Multilingual Delimited Text Filter. The other is called Multilingual XML Filter. Let's choose the Multilingual Delimited Text Filter. Now, the Multilingual Delimited Text Filter has several tabs here. It should already be set to Excel. Let's go over to where it says columns. Here we get a list of columns, and for example we have to say what the meaning of each of the columns is. So let's do that. Now, what was column A? Column A was English and it was the source. Now, we've already got the source language set to English. We also had EN as a header, a capsalho. The languages were EN, FR, DE, ET. So the first row contains column names. Does your input contain target language text? No, in this case it doesn't. Let's say then what column A is. Column A, meaning of a selected column. We've selected A. What's the meaning? The meaning is it's the source text. We've already said what the language is. B and C we're not interested in for the purposes of the translation. Now D, what's the meaning of D? D is the column where the translation is going to go, and it's a translation of column A. In a way, we already have this information here, but in principle we could have more than one source text, so we have to explicitly say which column we're translating. And which language are we translating into? Well, we're translating into Portuguese. So we make sure we've set this up and we've said what the columns we're interested in are. So let's click on OK. and let's also click on OK. Now the file will be imported into MemoQ, and as we can see, this is the source and this is the target. So we can quickly translate this. So when we've finished, done the spell check and QA, we can export this. Let's put PT at the beginning. And we can see we have successfully put the translation in the correct column. Let's now do the similar file, but this time the file which contained some existing translation. We do the same thing, we change the filter. We don't want the Excel file. We want the multilingual delimited text filter. We want the columns. The first row contains EN, FR, etc. The source language is still English. Now, let's say if anything is already translated, if there's any target language text, let's import it as confirmed and locked. A is still the source, and it's still English. D is still the translation of column A into Portuguese. Let's open this up. Okay, we get the hits from the previous translation, but in particular notice that the text that was already translated is here and it's locked. We can see the context might be useful for in another kind of translation. So we finish and we will export the finished translation. And we can see that once again the translation has appeared in the correct place and the existing translations have not been altered. Thank you very much for watching this video.